did the revisit for the PS3 and that bundle, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure these new IPs that are kind of these quirky, oddball, more introspective, not really an action kind of game titles.
Yeah, like Journey,
those are
for
hit or
example.
miss in terms of how they sell.
Yeah, well, I mean, Journey sold really well. I know that, which is mind-boggling to me because that game is so ridiculously, as you put it, introspective. It's not. It's not what you would expect out of a video game at all. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what Sony's advantage is having that sort of like something that nobody else can offer, really.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what I really like. That's what I've always liked about the PlayStation 3, at least. But that's also because I don't typically like games that run better on the 360. So, and I don't really like any of the 360 exclusive franchises. So,
and you know what? Let's not forget. I mean, Shadow of the Colossus was especially in the PlayStation 2 era, was a wildly ambitious game.
So
yeah.
good.
But it played like absolute fucking ass.
That might have been why I sold it back after one day.
Yeah, as far as game mechanics go, it was fucking horrible. But the idea was so good, and the visual experience was so amazing, and it was something we'd never seen before. People fell in love with it, and they just looked past the fact that controlling your little dude while he's trying to climb up a Colossus was terrible.
Yeah.
I just hope that they're taking enough time to make sure that this doesn't end up being Shadow of the Colossus. That this amazing experience that they're showing us through the one teaser we've seen is matched by a quality level of gameplay.
Well, yeah, and honestly, I think we kind of missed something crucial here when talking about how Sony has all these great new IPs and so forth. They don't have all these great new IPs, but they have new IPs. They seem to be taking those chances and have a lot of cool stuff they could potentially show us. But we should probably mention that out of all the press conferences, Sony is probably going to surprise us at least. Unless Last Guardian is like shown again and is playable, they couldn't surprise us.
Oh, absolutely not. That's
because they
no. I'd say Microsoft is the most likely to not surprise.
Okay.
If anything,
well, what I'm saying though is that all of Sony's like major games though got announced in the last couple of months, which still baffles me that they didn't announce God of War Ascension at E3 or PlayStation All Stars at E3. I mean, that might not mean anything, but I feel like it just kind of plays into what we've talked about before with how like E3 isn't really about announcements anymore. It's just like a big press junket.
I assume they think their big surprise is going to be, hey, we actually have Killzone 4 for you. Look at it.
Yeah, let's not forget, Killzone 4 hasn't been confirmed. If it shows up at the show, I mean, it's just rumored right now. If it shows up at the show, that would be a huge surprise. And my thing with Sony is that they have more area to spread out the press conference. They've got the Vita, they've got the Move, they've got the PlayStation 3. Microsoft's just got the 360 and Kinect. And whatever online service they want to add on to that.
And Windows 8 for 360.
Oh, God. Yeah, please. I know that a big, huge chunk of the press conference, of Microsoft's press conference, is going to be devoted to how the Xbox is going to integrate with Windows 8 now. And I'm just like, please don't. Please don't balls up my Xbox with Windows 8.
Yeah.
It's slow enough as it is.
It's terrible.
What I was gonna say, what I was meaning when I said that Sony isn't gonna surprise us or has the potential to like surprise us the least, I think I meant primarily just with game announcements themselves. But now that I think about it, I guess Microsoft probably will surprise us even less. So you guys are right. I can see.
Yeah, and who knows? They might bring out another Uncharted Vita game. That would be a huge surprise. Maybe, they might bring out, I don't know, a new Metal Gear Solid. Not Rising.
There's rumors of Metal Gear Solid 5.
Hi, I'm Raiden with my little sissy sword.
I stand by it though. I honestly think Revengeance looks like an assload of fun, but that's just me.
See, I'm just not a big. I'm not a big fan of Platinum Games.
Oh, okay.
I think they're pretty much a one-trick pony. I watched that Revengeance trailer, the last Revengeance trailer that came out, and I'm seeing a lot of mechanics that we saw in. What was the last one? What's that?
Vanquish? I was gonna say that.
Vanquish, yeah.
Really? I guess. Well, I
Absolutely.
guess they did. There is some shooting in this new Metal Gear
There is some
Revengeance
shooting.
nonsense, but
No, but the whole turbo slide thing that was in there.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, they.
And
I'm sure
you know the QTEs where you're running up the robot, totally
Yep.
Vanquish. I mean, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I mean, Platinum can bum rush out some games too. I mean, let's not forget they put out Bayonetta.
Oh,
I think they were Bayonetta.
Yeah, it was Bayonetta. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
and then they put
that's-
out Vanquish,
yeah.
and now they're putting out Rising in the course of 5 years.
No, of course
Not-
not. I
not-
would say
maybe not
three,
even.
3 years, if that.
Yeah, that's a lot of games, and I mean,
is.
they could really bum rush out some.
Well-
If you want a game out quick, go to Platinum.
You brought up Metal Gear, the next Metal Gear Solid. We do know it's being made. Kojima's been talking about it. There's been a lot of R&D going on at Konami, according to him. I mean, that actually could be the big surprise is Metal Gear Solid 5, which, on one hand, is cool for me, but on the other hand, just fuck you. I don't want to see another Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid 4 wrapped everything up. I'm done with that mythos. I just don't care anymore. So that's my own personal take on that. But
Well, that's your personal take.
Yeah.
But they announced Metal Gear Solid 5 or Metal Gear Solid 6.
well,
Or is it
technically-
5 or 6? I don't
It's
even know
5.
which fucking one
think
we're
it's
on.
5.
The numerical
Okay,
ones
if
are
they
5,
announced
yeah.
that at the press conference, they win.
Oh yeah,
You know, they win the show. They take it home. That's the home run, the grand
not
slam.
saying
You
they
get
don't-
Kojima out on stage and have him fucking bring out some Metal Gear Solid. You win.
Yeah. Well, there's also been rumors. I know I'm going to get shit from you for this, Nate, but there's also rumors that Quantic Dream is going to show a new game, which I actually am kind of intrigued at the idea of seeing that at the press conference. But it's yet another example of a new IP that we'll be seeing, which is
Yeah, if it's a new IP, great. I'm behind it. I'm right there with you.
Quantic Dream has done nothing but new IPs, though. It's just a new IP every time. Just similar style of game. It's more cinematic and less action oriented. That doesn't appeal to everybody, but it is always a new IP, which is very refreshing.
Yeah, I'm right there with you, buddy. The more new IPs we get, the more new gameplay experiences we get, the more impressed I'm going to be. And
That's what we're
I
gonna get
quite
from Sony,
honestly, I think the
probably.
audience is right there with me because we're sick of having 4s and 5s behind our games now.
Yeah.
I mean, those are fine, but that's all we've been getting.
Yeah.
So as far as that goes, I think Sony is probably in the. As far as the core audience goes, I think Sony is in the best place to really impress. But then we get to Nintendo, and it's such a weird spot. I'm not sure what to think because we don't know really anything about the Wii U. We don't know which of their major franchises are going to be launching with this thing, if any of them. I mean, we don't know specs. We don't know price point. We don't have a firm release date. These are all freaking questions that Nintendo has to answer.
Oh, but they've
at
said
their
they're
press
not,
conference.
But they said they're not. They've very strongly said they're not going to announce a price or launch date for the Wii U at their press conference. There's that thing going on in about 20 minutes now that maybe they're
See,
going to do
that
it
is a
there.
huge mistake. That
Yeah,
is
see, I
a
don't-
huge mistake.
I am right there with you on that. I do think it kind of baffles me that they're not. I mean, okay, they might want to. I mean, I get it if they don't want to show off the specs because it would show that it's probably not much more powerful than the current generation of systems. But not announcing a price or at the very least a release date is just fucking retarded. I can't imagine.
It's asinine.
It's
And at
asinine,
least
yeah.
I mean, I'm sure we're going to see a ton of new stuff about how the controller is going to work with the console and all these features that they can
Joe's
that'll make the
chuckling.
that'll make the two interact. And I'm sure we'll also see. I'm sure those major franchises will be there.
Oh yeah.
But I'm just worried that Nintendo's going to leave it at that. It's like, oh, hey, here's the new Mario we're working on. Here's the new Zelda we're working on. Here's the new Metroid we're working on.
The
But
idea
we're not
those-
telling you when you're getting them.
Well, yeah, probably. We probably wouldn't. But the idea of seeing Mario at a fidelity on the level of like a Pixar movie does kind of give me a little goosebumps. I think that sounds pretty fucking awesome.
Well, yeah, and it would be. It would be
Yeah.
amazing. But I think that's a mistake that Nintendo keeps repeating by not having or not stating, look, or even giving us a roundabout time.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
that always kills me.
it's true. Yeah, one thing about the Nintendo, or rather the Wii U, I mean, that just.
I'm sorry. I
Just
got to
no,
do it.
that's okay. You have to keep doing it. You have to. We have to remember that it has the most retarded fucking name on the planet for a
Ever.
console. But yeah, the thing about the Wii U that bothers me though is how like it is new, but I don't particularly find it that innovative because it is a touch screen and we've been inundated with touchscreens for the last like however many years at this point, and it's still a really primitive touchscreen. It's not multi-touch. It doesn't have a CPU. It's basically a controller with it's basically the lower half of a DS with better visual fidelity on it. And the fact that you only get one per system, that there's not multiplayer with it. I know that they're implementing the Wii mode into it too, but they need to explain all of this better, I think. They either need to upgrade it or explain it better as to why it's okay the way it is.
Yeah,
because
okay,
that controller.
Joe,
is
tell me if I'm right here.
Yeah.
I mean, when you watched Nintendo's press conference last year, were you, when it was over, were you left with a what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I looked at that controller and I went, how does that work for anything?
Yeah.
Because, I've seen this. There's so many tablets and touchscreens that try to get those games on it that are for hardcore gamers. And I would say 9 out of every 10 releases are just utter shit. Because it doesn't work. The technology isn't there yet to make that kind of shit work. And like Alex said, this probably tablet, in order to make this system cost effective, that controller can't be all that good. It can't be, because the technology is so expensive. It would have to be like a $300 controller to make it on par with some of the touchscreens we're seeing nowadays. And that's why this system just confuses the fuck out of me. I don't know what I'm seeing from it. The reason they don't have a price point yet is because it's still godly expensive for them right now, and they can't figure out how to drop it. So yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to get from this system, and I'm really intrigued about how they're going to explain to me how it's not a piece of shit.
I'm wondering if they're going to... Oh, go
Joe,
ahead, Nate.
you just made a great point. I wonder if Nintendo hasn't announced a release date or a price point or isn't planning on it because they haven't figured out how to mass produce this thing and make it cost effective.
I'm sure
That would
that's what
make
it is.
sense.
It makes
Because
perfect
yeah,
sense.
seriously, LED screens are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And adding touch capability into those LED screens, fucking expensive. I mean,
You
why?
watched exactly what happened when Sony couldn't figure out a price point that worked. They launched the PS3 at $600. Nintendo just watched that happen. And they're like, no, we can't do this. If we price ourselves out of it, we're going to lose before we even start. And
Yeah, they
we're gonna
can't
have
do
a
what
system out there-
PlayStation did.
They're
Yeah,
going to
we're
have
gonna
to...
have
They're going to have to
yeah.
take a loss, probably.
Well,
I mean-
exactly, but that's what
Well-
most initial systems do is get
Well,
sold
sure,
out.
Not
but
the
Nintendo
problem is-
though.
Well, that's
Right.
Not
yeah,
Nintendo.
That's what I
Nintendo
was going to
doesn't play
say.
that game, and the problem is that they don't want to have a system out there 6 to 9 months ahead of everybody else, but have it not sell.
See, they need to play that game, though. They need to, like, take a loss if they want to get it released this year, if what you guys are saying is true.
I just think that right now the price that they're working at is probably somewhere between $450 and like $550,
Jesus
and that's
Christ.
not going to work for them.
No, I think we'll probably see a $400 price point. That's like I'd say that's probably
That's
their
the max.
ceiling.
That's as
their
much as they can
ceiling.
go.
Yeah, I mean, even
Yeah, I mean,
that is a
considering
bit
that this
much.
thing, I mean, it's rumored. Let's make sure we say it's rumored that this thing isn't much more powerful than the 360. Yeah, if they launch with anything over a $400 price point, they've lost before they've begun.
And
Oh,
that's
yeah.
the thing is, like, I think probably production-wise, the the system and the controller will probably be about the same.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
you'll
and-
probably, if it's a $400, if it takes $500 to make it, it's probably $250 or $200 machine, $250 or $300 controller. And I think they're still really playing with that idea about how much of a loss they're willing to take.
yeah,
God,
well,
I just want an HD Kid Icarus, man.
Nah.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Can't I get that without the bullshit, without the fucking goddamn iPad controller or anything like that?
Joe-
Why didn't they just say, hey, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fucking make it so you can use the Wii U with your tablet. You know that $400 tablet you bought 6 months ago. You could use that if you'd like.
Right.
Well, Nate, you brought up something in the show notes that just got me thinking as Joe was talking about how much of a loss they have to think about they're willing to take, and we could maybe start seeing the sort of beginnings of what they're going to do if they start talking about an online service, like an actual online service,
A
good
legitimate one? Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like maybe that'll be their way of making up for losses by starting to charge for an online service.
See, I don't think they can do that.
Well, I don't
especially
think
since
they can, but I'm just wondering if they think they might try. That's all I'm saying.
see their Wii U or their Wii service, their online, if you can call it that.
Yeah.
It's so god awful terrible.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody would pay for they've got to prove that they can do it.
Well, that's what I'm
first.
saying. If they'd have to like maybe they would do something like with like that Sony did with PlayStation Plus. Like maybe have a tiered system because they have to just redesign the online service altogether. Let's be honest here. They cannot keep the Nintendo Network as it's called now because that thing is, as you said, a piece of fucking shit. I mean, I don't even know what a friend code is. Okay, that's how fucking weird that shit is to me.